Hello and welcome to On a Mission, the show where we share inspiring conversations with phenomenal women who are creating success and prosperity in their lives with purpose and passion. I'm Pauline Rohdich, a success mindset coach and clinical hypnotherapist, and I'm on a personal mission to remind you that you are a beautiful soul and you have so much potential. And my intention for this show is to give you the nudge to answer your own calling and to rise up and take on your life's mission. Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of On a Mission, and today I'm joined by the gorgeous Sharyn Kearns she's the founder of an amazing online boutique, Your Style, Your Story. I almost forgot there for a second. So this is Sharyn Kearns. Let me do this correctly. She deserves it. So Sharyn Kearns, the founder of Your Style, Your Story. Sharyn is a pretty phenomenal woman. She is an accountant, has her own business as an accountant, and she has a great passion for fashion. And not only just the fashion, but there's a real story behind that, hence the title of her business. So Sharyn, you're so incredibly welcome. I'm averting my eyes from this green dot because I want to look at you on the screen, so people will understand what's happening here. Anyway, look, it's great to have you on today on this particular episode that will be going out tomorrow. And I would love you just to give us the background. So yes, you are an accountant, and just tell us the whole lead up to really how you come to have a fashion business online.
Okay. Thanks for having me today, Pauline. Actually, I love your podcast, so I was really excited to join you today. So yeah, well, I suppose in terms of, I set up my accountant practice when I was 26, so I was relatively young, and my first son had just been born. And I suppose at the time I was all career, you know, I had real ambition behind me. And I really was very naive. I was the first of my friends to have my kid. So I kind of thought, yeah, I'll have my baby and I'll go back to work and they'll just, you know, coincide with my career alongside and juggle. And I thought, absolutely, you know, I'm a multitasker, I can do this. But yeah, it's not really like that. When your child comes along, it's very different. So I suppose I quickly realized, you know, I don't have my parents passed years ago, so I don't have that extra support. So it was really kind of down to what I could do. So I kind of realized that I needed something to work around me. And that's why then I said, okay, I'm going to set up on my own. It will be on my own terms. It'll be on my own hours, and it will work for my little family. And I suppose that's been great. And that's what I have done for a lot of years. And during those years, we relocated to Spain. I moved back here. I kept my business going all the time while I was over there. I've always had amazing clients, to be fair, that, you know, even before Skype was a thing, I was saying to my clients, keep me on, I will work for you remotely from Spain. This will be fine. And they ran the journey with me, to be honest. And we kept doing that. And then I relocated back permanently about 5.5 years ago, I'd say now. And I suppose, you know, fashion and style has always been in like my blood. You know, I had to do a lot of presentations for my work, pitching for new clients. And I think, you know, I always say like what I wore was my armor. So, you know, I might have had sleepless nights with the kids. You know, it could be crazy going to the school run, but at least kind of once, you know, the kids were dropped off the school run, when I went in to make the presentations, nobody had a clue of the madness of the preceding, you know, 3 or 4 hours. And that gave me my confidence. But I know it's very hard for us to maybe take the time to do that. You know, we're not talking about getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and picking out amazing power suits and, you know, perfect hair. I'm talking about trying to make that easy and sustainable in your life, and it becomes just a habit. And that's where Your Style, Your Story was born. And I suppose it was my way of helping other mums, other busy women. You know, some of us can't get to the shops. We have to order online. That's just our life. But it shouldn't be soulless. You know, ordering online shouldn't be you're in this horrible pit and something arrives that doesn't look anything the same. So that's how your story was born. It's for those busy women, busy mothers that want to order online, want to feel good each day, but easily feel good each day, and want to see a real women, and
So
connect with them.
when did you actually start?
So I would have started the boutique now. This October will be 2 years.
Amazing. And like, I'm one of your fans online, so I see the amazing job that you do. I mean, how you present, and I love your little family camera crew that on your Friday evening catwalk stuff. So I mean, you really are amazing. And I mean, not only that, have you is one of your children a little girl, am I correct?
No, 2 little boys.
It's 2 boys, which is amazing. I mean, but they're obviously helping you.
They are, to be fair. And I suppose last year when COVID hit, I would order my stocking pieces 6 months ahead. Yeah. So, this stock came. It didn't matter that, there was COVID and everything was closed and people weren't going anywhere. And normally we would have our photographer do photo shoots of myself and my friends or my models.
Yeah, no, I've seen that, which is an amazing idea. I think that is just it's a very real experience for people, because I mean, at the end of the day, the rest of us feel as we're very real. And it's that whole story, the old story of the body beautiful. I mean, it doesn't really present very well for most of us, does it?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, my customers look like my friends. Why should my customers go online and see themselves?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic. I mean, I love what you do. But it's just fantastic that the kids got involved there over COVID, because I was watching you, and I have seen your official photo shoots as well, which you definitely put great effort into, and you certainly look like you have a lot of fun, number one.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we do. And I think it also was a safe environment. So for my first photo shoot, I've never been involved in photo shoots or styling. I'm an accountant, put me up and talk about your 5-year forecast, and I can do that in my element. Put me in the styling thing, it was so new to me. But to have my friends there as my models, I mean, it was just like you were being supported and caught up every way, because you're in such a safe place to go, what do you think, will we match this, will we match that together, will we try this, will we try that? So it was really, it gave me the confidence to then go, well, I can own this, I can do this.
I know, but it's also, on a personal note, like having that beautiful balance, with the type of work that you do as the accountant, and then having this kind of more fun, creative side. It's kind of an ideal situation to have both sides of the brain functioning quite equally. So in terms of going forward with the business, do you feel that accountancy is always going to remain part of your life, or do you feel that there's a different route perhaps you were going to take with career business?
I suppose it will always remain. It's always kind of been a current thread throughout everything I do. But I think more so, what I'm more so seeing, it's the skills that I've learned. It's the skills from working with other businesses and working with other women and mentoring other women. That's kind of what I'm seeing, that I'm probably using a lot more now. So I do think, I mean, my plans are, for my boutique to grow and grow and grow. I want everybody in Ireland to be able to access this. Like, when I hear the stories back from my customers of how they feel great every day, that it's effortless for them, that even things like the customers will say to me, my husband noticed me in that jumper this morning, and that felt great for me to be seen. I mean, they're small things, but amazing things.
Oh, no, they really are. They make you feel really good. There's no doubt about that. I'm always talking about getting our hits of dopamine and the happy chemicals, I mean, it really does feel like an accomplishment when we all like to dress up, let's face it, and we didn't do a whole lot of it in COVID. In actual fact, I did show you the bottom half of me before we came on here. So the top will be coming off, and something more matching to the bottom half will be put back on after this particular chat today. Sharyn, I said I better put something on nice, especially when you're there. And I love what you're actually wearing. Is that just a short jumper, is it?
Yeah, and would you believe this there? It's actually made from recycled plastic bottles.
It's unreal. I love the colors. I absolutely love the colors. Do you still have that one in stock?
I do. We're down to the last couple of pieces now of this one, but we've other seawool knits, and they're, I suppose, what is really popular for our gifts, because the tags will all say about how it comes from recycled plastic bottles, how it's good for the environment, how we're helping our oceans. I think our customers love to give that special, thoughtful gift, to family members.
I know. And where's the products coming from? Is it different places? You're sourcing them around the world, or?
Yeah, so well, it's I suppose it's all Europe really. So some of our brands are from Ireland, some of our brands are from Denmark. So a lot of what our pieces are would be Scandi style as well, you know, and they work kind of really, really well here for us. We've got pieces from Paris, pieces from Italy, Greece, and Netherlands. So anywhere that we see pieces that we think will actually work for our customers, we try bring them in.
So obviously, just in terms of business, we'll say, and the whole journey to what you have created, which sounds like you're a really balanced person, Sharyn, you know, perhaps that accountant's brain does really work in all these areas. So you're able to juggle quite well. But what would you say would be the most difficult decision that you've had to make?
Well, I suppose it's probably quite a personal one. Was bringing my children back from Spain. You know, so like I said, we relocated there and we relocated there kind of twice. But then unfortunately my relationship broke down. So I had to make the decision to actually leave and, you know, bring my children who were, you know, they were young at the time, like we were talking an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, you know, come back to nothing basically, and move in with my brother. So that it was not an easy decision to make. But you know, I suppose sometimes the decisions that you have to make in your life, they're not the easy ones really, are they? You know?
No, and then when you look back, you're able to say, well, that was the right decision.
That's it. That's it. It is. It's about, I suppose, you know, making the decision and going with the decision and just believing that it is the right one and you will handle everything that will come along the way. You know, I think if you kind of foresaw the next 5 or 6 years, you'd go, oh my God, I can't do it. But I think if you can just go, you know what, I'll manage today and I'll manage tomorrow. And, you know,
One day at a time, isn't that what they say?
Bit by bit, I'll do it.
One moment at a time. And your favorite quote, I know what it is. So I just think it would be quite appropriate to share it right now.
Yeah.
So your favorite quote is
what's meant for you won't pass you by. And that's been, any of my friends that are watching this now will laugh because that's always my advice to them and even I say it to my children. And I suppose it struck me, you know, like I said, when I was in school, or college, I was really, really ambitious. And I wanted the biggest accountancy firm in Ireland. And I just expected that's where I would be. And I had been, even in college, working part-time in other accountancy firms to get the experience. You know, I was just tunnel vision. This is where I go. I got an award for coming first in the financial reporting side of it. So I was like, no, this is it. And then I didn't get that job. And I'll always remember the rejection letter coming and me sitting there crying. And I always remember, God rest my mum, her saying to me, you know, it's okay, it'll be fine. You know, you're better than that. You know, you're better than that job. You know, as mums always try pick you back up. But with hindsight, you know, 5 years later, I could see that the place that I ended up doing my, you know, final training in was amazing. I got to work with small businesses. I got to set up a whole brand new department there, helping businesses in real time. And some of those clients are still my clients today. And it's meant I've been able to travel the world. And, you know, so really that job was not meant for me. And sometimes, you know, just something bigger controls that for us and we can't see it at the time. But that's me. What's meant for you just doesn't pass you by.
Well, that is the advice that I received from my own mother, I have to say, for all of my life. She still says it to this day, to be fair. So you spoke about something bigger. What's that bigger for you? I mean, do you feel it's a connection to your higher self, the universe, God, spirit? What would you call it? And when do you feel you're kind of connected to it most?
Yeah. So I suppose for me, I call it the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've always kind of done. I can't say, I suppose I can't say like day to day, I always do feel connected. And I think that's because everything's just so busy, Pauline. You know, there's just no stopping. It's go, go, go. But at times, you know, like I said, when I look back at the big things in my life, like the example I just gave, that's when I kind of feel connected. You know, there's sometimes a client that you're really sure you'll get and they don't come on board. And instead of getting upset about it now, I just go, okay, there's a bigger picture somewhere down the road that, you know, they're not meant for me. I'm not meant for them. Yeah. And that's where I kind of, the universe is kind of just seeing maybe further down the road for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a guidance, your kind of guidance.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just that little thing that if I'm, you know, I'd be quite stubborn and if I'm hell bent and going one way, that sometimes it goes, no. It just kind of moves me along. But it's not, I'm not particularly religious. I'm not anti-religion. I'm just not particularly, kind of religious. So I suppose I don't say God, I kind of say universe. But there's times that, out of desperation, or maybe if I just can't make something work, I just go, oh, you know what, over to you. I've tried everything. And it will, like, typically within a week, something will happen and I'll go, right, okay, I hear you. I know you're there,
But I can assure you, I am not referring to religion either. I mean, it is, everybody has different names for this energy, or this something that's bigger than ourselves, I guess. So universe works for me, I can assure you. So I get what you're talking about, but it's really that whole, I know you said that you probably don't tap into it, but you're very much aware of it. And maybe when things are not perhaps going your way, you do tap into it, rather than having a daily sort of connection. You're not plugging in deliberately at the moment.
No. But I do believe in that sense of sometimes when ideas come to you, or I don't know, when things just work out for you. Sometimes I do, again, I kind of see it. And like, I'd always joke with my friends, and I'd say, you know what, I've had some really hard, tough things happen to me, but my God, I've had some amazing things happen to me. You know what I mean? So I do always think that's kind of,
and I don't know you that well, but I'm guessing that you're somebody, I sort of feel that you're somebody that would focus anyway on the good and being grateful for what you have.
Not all the time. I do try though. I suppose my motto was always, I can sink or I can swim. No, in real life, I can't swim. So I don't know why I came up with that motto.
God.
But,
and having lived in Spain as well.
We had our own pool in Spain, and you'd think I would have learned to swim. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I will get there eventually, but.
Are you afraid of the water, or is it just you haven't?
Yeah, I got pushed in when I was 12. So before then I was never afraid of it, but I got pushed in just baths that had no kind of, it was an outdoor kind of pool when I was 12 years old, and my friend actually had to rescue me. It was quite serious. So yeah, she had done life skills, life saving, so she actually had to come and
that's going to leave a mark for sure, and then you have to just really rewire that into your brain that you can do it, and you absolutely can do it,
Yeah.
And no two ways about that. You most definitely can turn that around if you want to. So tell me this, who would be the most influential person in your life, or if there's more than one, please share.
Well, I suppose probably, like, definitely my father would have been, and I think even now, so even though he's not around now, like, he is still very kind of influential. There's a lot of times I'm thinking of stuff and I nearly kind of hear what Daddy would say, or, well, I kind of go like, what would you think, Dad? So that's been a huge thing. My mum, again, hugely influential. And I suppose, she's one of the real core reasons I even set up my boutique, so that's really influential there. And again, I suppose, it's just been different people along my path, different companies that I worked for, the managing directors there. There's no one people that I can tie out, like, my partner, my friends, in all their own little ways. I kind of
contributed,
take a little bit from each of them to make me, I suppose.
No, it's wonderful. I mean, and like, so what advice would you give to your younger self, especially with the journey that you've been on?
To enjoy it. I think a lot of us can spend our time striving, and I'm an absolute devil for it, and things go so quick, like my time in Spain went so quick, being a trainee, being in college, it all goes so quick. And I would just kind of say, just breathe and enjoy it. And it's not, these 100 things that we think we need to do to get to this destination. Like, we don't, and don't worry about what other people think, because my God, like, if I spent my life thinking about, I'm sure everybody thought I was mad, all the things I've done, I'd have done nothing, to be honest.
No, I completely agree with you. And it takes a while, doesn't it? It takes a while to kind of, for that penny to drop, not to be worrying about other people's opinion of us, because I think as children, we want to be liked. As adults, we want to be liked. We don't want to be going around thinking that nobody likes us per se, but we have to, realize that we're not always going to appeal to other people or everybody. But it can hold a lot of people back. So I think it is very, very good advice. So yeah, just enjoy yourself. I think a lot of us need to take that on board. And especially, I found myself lately speaking to some parents about their children. I mean, I have a teenage boy myself. I know you've one teenager. Are both of your children teens?
So Dean is 10 and Lee will be 13 in August. So we're just flipping it there now.
I know, but the thing is, childhood is so short, isn't it? And it's shorter today more than it ever was because they're exposed to so much, you know. I mean, the innocence is taken away from our children so young, you know. But I think how important it is for us to really encourage in them that the opinion of others really should not matter, and to enjoy their young lives and not want to be, you know, racing to become adults, you know, because hopefully they'll be adults for a long time, but nobody knows that either, you know. But it's a tough old world for our kids. We won't go down that. We won't go down that route because that could be a whole different conversation. So you've already mentioned your favorite quote, what's for you will not pass you by. I know it well. It's indelibly printed in my own brain. So are you reading a book at the moment?
So I just finished actually. So I kind of read 2 books at a time, if that makes sense. I suppose one doesn't normally be like, I don't want to say a business book, but, you know, tied back to kind of my business. And then one is just to really shut off. So Good Eggs, I just finished.
Who wrote that?
God, I don't know who wrote that. I'm desperate. I never know who wrote the books.
That's okay.
But it was actually recommended to me by Anya from Just Us. I know you had
Anya.
Anya.
Yes, Anya was on. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so that was nice, easy. It's just about a family in Ireland, and just they're different. You know, it was funny. You know, the granny's involved, the husband's involved. You know, and it's just about, I suppose, their different day to day. So that I love that. I can just switch off. And then I suppose what I'm reading, kind of work wise, would be the 80-20 rule. So I suppose I would do that anyway in work, particularly my accountancy side, but I've never actually really looked at it properly, you know. So I was reading Tim Ferriss's book. I actually tend to go back to Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week. I've been reading that book on and off, I would say, since it came out. So I'd probably say 12 years I'm reading that book on and off.
And you managed to get your working life down to a 4-hour week?
No, but I suppose what I've managed to do is do a lot of different things.
I haven't read it actually. It's one that I really must get my hands on. Would you recommend it? Obviously,
I do. Do you know what I do? Because it's not about getting it into a 4-hour work week and being lazy. For me, it's about kind of really critiquing, do I need to do this? Do I really ultimately need to do this? And do I really, really like it? And if not, okay, you know, ditch it or get someone else. But I suppose what it's done for me is it's meant that I can do, you know, like I've got my accountancy business, I've got Your Style, Your Story, you know, I run my podcast. And then obviously I'm mum to my 2 kids. So there's a lot that it thinks that I want to do. I need to have a mechanism to be able to do those, to be honest.
Oh, I think that a lot of people, the time management, which we're kind of told there's lots of books on time management, yet we're not able to manage time. None of us can manage time, but we can manage the activities. I mean, I think a lot of us need to be educated on that. That's a subject for school, and that needs to be in schools. One of the ones that I would change if I had some kind of say in the matter in education, along with a lot of other things in personal development. But I feel that many of us take on way too much, and then we fail to do what's important, and we end up doing a whole load of stuff, and the time goes, and we're left with our hands open and wondering what the heck just happened there, you know. But I'm all about goals. Would you be somebody that sets goals and achieve your goals? Are you good at that?
I suppose so. It's not, I wouldn't have that I would kind of go, here's my goals for my next quarter. But you know, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. So I don't have that kind of religious, here's my set of goals. I suppose in my head, I know the direction I'm going. You know, I kind of know what I want to achieve for my business by the end of the year, but I'm just not great at having those monthly goals.
Do you have long-term goals? Are you into long-term goals?
Not something like, I suppose, not overly, to be honest. You know, I think what I'm into is kind of going, okay, this is what I want to create. This is what I want to achieve. And then I just keep doing the activities to do that. But I don't kind of sit there, like for an accountant now, I'm lethal with my clients. You know, I will say to them, okay, what's your quarterly goal? Where are we this month? You know, and all of that good stuff you read in the books, I live and breathe that with all of my clients. And it's done them all very, very well. I don't know, for my businesses, I've just not ever worked that way. I don't know. I think I just always wanted
I think it's more automatic though for you then, because it's in your psyche. It's just part of who you are. It's your habit.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's my habit. And I suppose in my head, I have a very kind of, this is direction I want to go. And I kind of know if I'm going off this way, and it's like that inner steering mechanism, maybe that just pushes me back on it. So I don't really have that list of goals that I go to each month to go, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. But I will, my own head say, you know, okay, I want to get some extra coverage. How would I go about that? And then I'll make it happen. But I don't have it on a goal card anywhere, or, you know, on a goal list or anything.
That's fair enough. Tell me about, if you had the opportunity of meeting somebody that you really admire in life and have dinner with them, who would it be?
Richard Branson, without a doubt.
I know, he's incredible, isn't he?
Honestly, I think he needs to call me to Necker Island.
Well, I have to tell you, I would love to go to Necker Island too. I'm going to be honest. I'm just throw this in here as soon as you mentioned him. I have met him on 3 occasions.
Really?
And the first time I was socializing in his nightclub in London.
Okay.
And he was being interviewed by the Times, one of the Times journalists at the time. Now, bear in mind, he had Virgin Atlantic, the airline, and then I worked for British Airways. So he knew we were actually British Airways girls, and actually came over and talked to us. And there was a big funny story that I won't go into on this, but that ensued as the night progressed. And then on 2 occasions, within a matter of days, I was working in first class on British Airways, and he was one of the passengers on British Airways. We were bringing him to Nigeria.
Okay.
He was negotiating, you know, all the whatever he had to do for the aviation side of things to bring Virgin into Nigeria. So I remember he came back. I had brought them out. We stayed for the couple of nights. He did his meetings, etc. We were coming back again. He so happened to be on the flight, and he came on board, and he was severely sunburned. So I actually had to go to the medical kit and get him, you know, kind of a very a medical, what's the word I'm looking for? A sunscreen or protector, like an aloe, but a really strong one, because he was badly sunburned. So we ended up having the chat. But look, very pleasant, I have to say, and but hugely successful. And from a businessman, absolutely amazing. I just love his attitude. You know, the whole fun thing, and he certainly. What is it you like about him?
But no, that's it exactly. I suppose I love his sense of, yeah, we can do it. Do you know what I mean? Like you know, when people say
figure out,
you
say
know,
yes and figure it out. Yeah.
Can't do that, Sharon. I just go, yeah, okay, watch me. And like, I don't always do it perfect. You know what I mean? But I do believe that we can do it, you know, and I love his sense of that. He believes he can, and it's just kind of finding out the way, you know, and if it, you know, and
he certainly has fun in finding it out, because we're not meant to know the how part, but it's the fun part in finding it out.
Yeah, and but I also love then his attitude to, you know, there'd be so many people out there would wear this I'm busy badge and I work 80 hours a week. And like, don't get me wrong, I had to actually, my own thing there kind of last year, say that when friends ask me, how are you, to stop saying, oh, I'm really busy. Do you know, because like people don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? We're all busy, you know.
Yeah, it's so true. But you know what? One of the ladies that I'm working with, she put up a quote there, in fact, only yesterday. And I forget who said the quote, but it's a beautiful thing to suggest, like that there's kind of very little difference between your work life and your business, if you like, that it becomes an art when you're doing something that you really love. Yeah. You're kind of immersed in it. Do you feel it's like that for you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, to be honest, I really do. I suppose it's easy. You know, it's not, I don't kind of start and go, oh, it's 9 o'clock and I'm starting work. You know, it's kind of easy. It's like, okay, well, who needs me the most today? Or how can I impact her today? Or, you know, that kind of way. And I always do, you know, her, my customer, you know, like, what's her life like today? And what does she need to hear? Even with the social media post, you know, what does she need to hear from me today? But it is, I think it's
it's a nice place to put yourself in, you know, I mean, just being of service, it's a beautiful way of really getting that flow. And I think that's what's needed more and more, that kind of communication coming from that place within, you know.
Yeah.
No, I think you've nailed it. I mean, your social media, I mean, you're doing an amazing job, Sharyn. And I say that, I mean, with great admiration for you, really and truly, you're absolutely fantastic. So listen, final question. What excites you about the future? I know you're not really into the forward planning with the goals, etc., but what excites you about the future?
What excites me is the not knowing, right? So that probably ties back to my goals. So if I look there, so say, just to give you an example, like if I kind of go back maybe, I don't know, 6 years ago, I have to travel internationally for some of my clients. And one of the ones, we were there and we were over in Italy, and the team from South Africa was there. And I'd never been to South Africa. And I kept saying, you know what? Next year, you have to make it that we have the meeting in South Africa. I'd love to go to South Africa. So, and anyway, for 2 whole days, I didn't shut up about this. I want to go to South Africa. When I came back 2 months later, the South African finance director there resigned, and they contacted me and asked me, would I actually take it over? So I was in South Africa within 2 months to the day that I said, I want to go to South Africa. I want to go to South Africa. And I was the finance director there for about 4 or 5 years. And I did it remotely from here, and also Nigeria. So I laughed going, I didn't meet Richard Branson there.
You didn't go to Virgin Atlantic then, obviously. When you eventually did go in there, did you?
A few times gone back and forward. For South Africa, I did. We did go through kind of Dubai and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, when I missed my flight once. Long story, but yeah. So, and I suppose that's kind of what excites me. You know what I mean? It's, you know,
which terrifies most people.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
I mean, a lot of people are afraid to embrace this unknown. I mean, they're so frightened because a lot of people, the majority of people, just want to know where they're going to be, how they're going to do it, and unfortunately, it stops a lot of people. So, I mean, that in and of itself is hugely inspirational, Sharyn. You know, the fact that you have that attitude, you know, and that you just have great trust, whether you recognize it as that or not. You know, you just really know how to turn things around. You're able to handle things.
Yeah, and I just think it's exciting. I think it's exciting, you know, even like with my boutique, I'm like, you know, maybe that'll change into something different, or, you know, maybe we'll start to do group sessions and kind of get, you know, like a lot of women together physically after COVID and kind of do some things, you know, and like I said, I don't have a planned out, because the best things that have come to me have, you know, when I make plans, I keep telling you goals, you know, the universe just laughs at me. Says, no, Sharyn.
But I'll tell you one thing, I think you're doing all right. I think you're doing more than all right. So I want to thank you sincerely for being on today, Sharyn. You're a great inspiration. So your style, your story is a wonderful online boutique that it's really a love child of yours, isn't it? I mean, it's just a wonderful, I know, because the passion behind it is fantastic. And the whole thinking behind it, which is really to help women with their confidence. So we'll have all the links attached to this particular episode, because obviously it goes out podcast and also on YouTube, so you can see Sharyn or listen to Sharyn. So I'm so grateful for you to be here, Sharyn, and I want to wish you continued success in everything that you're doing. You're absolutely amazing. You're a great inspiration to me. I have purchased just a small amount from you, but I'm very interested in the top you're wearing and whatever else, and some of the other things we discussed prior to coming on live. So thank you everybody for tuning into this episode. I hope you found Sharyn very inspiring. She's amazing. She's on Instagram and Facebook, etc., and Twitter, and she's a wonderful, giving person, full of heart. And so I thank you for tuning in this time. And if you're interested and you're a woman also on a mission with a beautiful story to share out there in the world, we'd love to have you on board as one of our guests. So thank you so much. Until the next time, be careful, be happy, be safe, have fun, lots of love.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this show so that you will be notified when the next episode is released. And remember, keep believing. You're amazing and you have so much to give. Now is your time.